Well, hello, my fairy tale things, and welcome to an unexpected episode, an exciting and unexpected episode, because look what's right in front of me. Look what I have. One of the most exciting items I have yet to add to the Shrek collection. The Shrek Forever After statue maquette that was given to cast and crew that worked on the film. Yeah, I simply cannot believe this is in front of me. And let me tell you how I got this, because it's incredible. So, last night, I've been recovering from a cold. You could probably hear it in my voice. Thankfully, I stockpiled videos, and I was editing videos, and my mom's like, let's go to the thrift store. Why not? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the thrift store. I got stuff to edit. I got things to do. But she's like, please, please. So I'm like, okay, I'll go thrifting with Mom. The thrift store was closing in like an hour, so I wasn't going to have a lot of time. But I figured, well, I'll check DVDs. I'm looking to get some DreamWorks films, some holes in my collection. So I'm there at the DVD section, right, and I'm shifting through all the DreamWorks DVDs. I like to check the insides of the DVD for any paperwork, because I love when the old DreamWorks movies have all papers inside. So I was doing that, and I get a call from her, and she's like, you need to come to the jewelry case right now. And I'm like, hang on, there's an animated movie shelf here. Let me just finish looking. And she's like, no, come to the jewelry case right now. So I went to the jewelry case, and it was somebody's Toy Story collection. It was like tons of Toy Story memorabilia. And then in between all the Woody and Jessie ragdolls, like piled around it, was this. This was just buried underneath the dolls. And she said, I see Shrek and Fiona. What is that? And I knew what it was as soon as I saw it. This is an item I have tried to buy for this channel, but I've been outbid every time. It's simply too expensive. It's the Shrek Forever After. I said, Mom, that's the cast and crew gift that was given away by Mike Mitchell, the director of the film. And, yep, that's what it is. Only a man like me could name drop Mike Mitchell at a thrift store. I got serious problems, y'all. Serious problems. But they had it priced at $100. Pretty high for a thrift store. But prices at thrift stores have been going like way up lately. I don't know if anyone else has noticed. Maybe it's YouTubers and collectors like me, but thrift store prices have gone up. I happen to have a coupon though. A really good coupon. So I did not pay this amount. I got a great discount on this. And yeah, I have it. What's funny is I was going to film myself at the thrift store with it, but I was just so panicked that this was going to break anymore. It does have some chips on it. It's got a couple of scuffs. I think the wire that Fiona is tying around Shrek, the lace to the gauntlet, is broke. Usually it should be a lot longer, and his vest is chipped. So it's not in the best shape, but it's still very, very displayable, and really that's all I care about. And what they do at the thrift store I go to, Savers, is when you want to buy something from the jewelry case, usually it's just a small piece of jewelry, but they'll hold it up front, and then when you're ready to check out, they'll ring it up. But with a statue like this, they just put it on the register and wait for you when you're done. And I've had a horror story about 8 or 9 years ago. When I was a teenager, they had a statue I really wanted, and I put it on hold. And when I was shopping in the store, one of the employees, I guess, tripped and broke it. Because when I got to the register, it was in pieces. And they're like, sorry, we broke it. So out of an abundance of fear from that scenario, I'm like, okay, I need to just buy this, run it to my car, and then go back in the thrift store. And I did find a couple of DreamWorks DVDs. I need to do another DVD collecting video, but that's off topic. The statue. So let's talk about this. What is this statue, and why is it such an amazing find? Well, I have reviewed cast and crew statues before. I did a video on this one, this maquette, the 1-year anniversary Shrek statue, and this commemorates 1 year of working at DreamWorks. So this one is given to every DreamWorks employee that sticks with the company for more than a year. So I would assume that's anyone on salary and not the contracted animators, because they do a lot of contract work too. But if you're on, Jeffrey Katzenberg's payroll, you get one of these. Now, this statue was much more selective. It was only given to, I guess, top animators and people that they believe were of exceptional service to the movie. They didn't give one of these to every single person that worked on the film. There were only a few hundred of these, so they're very limited, they're very scarce. I would assume either Mike Mitchell or maybe Walt Dorn handpicked who got these. So getting one of these at DreamWorks is like a big deal, even more so than the other trophies and awards. Yeah, is a big deal. So I've always wanted to have one of these maquettes because they are a staple of the DreamWorks production process. Almost every DreamWorks movie has this maquette that's given out to cast and crew. And I was looking these up. They're usually made by a studio called Atomic Monkey that actually specializes in film production maquettes given out to cast and crew. Yeah, it's a whole cottage industry, who knew? But so many of these are so cool. There's a really great Puss in Boots one for Last Wish. They've done them, for Boss Baby and every DreamWorks movie. This one in particular was sculpted by a gentleman named Warren Stratford, and he does some character-style sculpting. And I found this interesting blog post from a DreamWorks animator named Scott Raymond, and he was sharing his collection of maquettes. Pretty amazing. But he said in it that they make the maquette as long as there's enough budget. So some movies, like he lists Peabody and Mr. Sherman and Megamind, did not get maquettes. So I'm wondering, did those movies go way over budget? I know Megamind had a troubled production. It was supposed to be a live action movie. But I just thought that was interesting. Now, I would say out of all of these maquettes, including that gorgeous Puss in Boots one, this has been my favorite, and this is the one I've tried to buy before because of the significance. So a lot of the maquettes will either feature the main character or maybe a side character, but in this case, it's a scene-specific maquette, and it is probably the most important scene of Shrek Forever After, if not one of the best. It's when Shrek and Fiona from the other universe, are bonding, and she damages Shrek's armor, and she's tying it back up. And she says, when she's tying the knot, she says that the dragon goes under the bridge, through the loop, and Shrek says, and finally into the castle, which is how Fiona ties the baby shoes in the regular timeline. What this scene signifies is not only that from a plot perspective, that this Fiona now believes Shrek's crazy story, that he's from another universe, because at first, she laughs at Shrek. She doesn't even consider for a moment that this is the love of her life. But, him finishing that sentence and realizing the label that she goes through speaks to her. But even more than that, it's when Shrek finally begins to accept his fatherhood and how much he misses his kids. Because at the beginning of the movie, he hates that rhyme, right? When he's trying to tie the baby's shoe, he's miserable. But when he loses his kids in the other universe, he realizes how much he misses them. And by reciting that verse with Fiona, he gets a newfound respect for her motherhood, and his kids. It's such a beautiful moment. And seeing it captured in the statue is gorgeous. I would not select any other scene. It's simply amazing. And Shrek Forever After, out of all the Shrek movies, is probably the black sheep. It's one of my favorites, if not my second most favorite after 2. And it didn't have a lot of merchandise. Fiona, in her awesome warrior garb, barely had any merchandise made whatsoever. So to see this beautiful statue that captures her strength and beauty in this alternate universe form is really incredible. It's really phenomenal. I can't help but look at this and wish we had action figures of Shrek and Fiona in these outfits because, I can't even touch this statue. I'm scared it's going to fall to pieces. But it's simply incredible. The sculpt, the craftsmanship, the paint, I have no complaints whatsoever. It's a near perfect representation of Shrek and Fiona. Even down to the colors of their skin, they kind of gave them this green and yellow pigment that makes their skin pop a bit more. It's a lot more lively than a lot of the action figures and toys. Makes sense given this is a low production run statue. They can do a lot more detail like that. Yeah, I don't have anything much else to say on this other than it's one of, if not my favorite piece I've added to the collection. And it's such an amazing find, not because it's valuable, but because of what it is. there were only a few of these made. It's not a common item. And I rescued one from a thrift store that had Toy Story toys piled on top of it. I feel like it was fate. Like if I didn't get out of my bed, and complain about recovering from a cold, this beautiful Shrek and Fiona statue would have been destroyed. It would have been just mangled by all the items in the shelf collapsing in on it. I mean, what are the odds? You do have to ask yourself, like, what are the odds? I have found most of my Shrek collection, at least not the new stuff, the vintage items, from flea markets and thrift stores. I don't pay retail for anything. I get a lot of comments of like, man, I wish I was rich enough to have a Shrek collection like you. Man, I am not rich. I have no money, trust me. I am just a very crafty man that hops from yard sale to flea market to thrift store. And I mean, a lot of the stuff I have found is common. Lately, I've just been finding a lot of the Happy Meal toys, basic figures, stuff that, pretty much every kid that was into Shrek had, but threw out in one way or another. But every now and then you do get those amazing finds. Some of my favorite Shrek thrift store finds are the dragon, the original McFarlane Toys dragon. I found that at the thrift store, fully intact, which is amazing because they're almost always broken. The Beverly Hills Teddy Bear Company Shrek with all his tags. That was a pretty awesome find on my birthday, no less. So they do come every now and then. But a find like this, it really just makes you excited now to get up every day and go thrifting and flea market hunting, because you never know what's out there. You find production materials like this, and it's simply incredible. And it isn't just about the money, it's about rescuing these items and giving them a proper home. This was, like I said, piled around Toy Story toys, and now it gets to be the crown jewel of my collection. I cannot wait, after I finish recording this video, to walk on these shelves and find some space for this. It's really exciting. So I guess the takeaway is that even in the age of social media and thrift store prices going up, there are still treasures out there. Do not give up hope. There's still amazing, amazing stuff. You just have to get out of bed every day. You can't complain about recovering from a cold like I am. I did it, and look what I found. Look what I got. So that's all I got for today. Let me know in the comments, have you been thrifting lately? Have you found any cool, cartoon merchandise? I'd love to know. And have a happily ever after. I know I certainly will.